What is the life advice you would give your younger self? I feel like I've answered this question a million times, and I feel like every time I answer, I probably say something else because you can never stop giving yourself advice. Like I can even consider myself yesterday, my younger self. From that perspective, I would say my biggest advice is like to always reflect because it's the best way to learn. And you can really speed up your growth by taking that extra time. I have a note called Boss Lessons, and like in it, every day I'm stressed out, I either write like one small thing, I just write it down. It could be a one-liner, it could be a bullet point, because when I go down and read all those bullet points, it just helps me reflect and learn like where my weaknesses are. So spend time reflecting and just make that time to grow. What are some ways to recharge your emotional batteries? For me, as a super emotional, sensitive person, I do this like daily. I schedule my morning for myself. Usually I train in the morning, which I believe recharges my emotional batteries, even though it's a physical thing. For me, it's also emotional. Like you're releasing so many amazing hormones that really affect your emotions. After I train, I take a nice shower. Then I have space for myself to write. And this is like a form of journaling. And I think that really helps. So if there's anything on my mind, just write it out. Like anything stressing you out, put it out. It could literally be like, my neighbor's annoying me. Just write it out. Like anything, the smallest things, those things add up. And if you leave it in your head, you're going to feel drained. I also like pray 5 times a day. And for me, that's a huge recharge because every time I pray, I feel like I'm connecting spiritually. I notice when I do that, it's just, I'm a different person than when I don't do it. Spend time with people I love. Like I love my family. I love my team. You know, whatever you're giving off to people usually comes back to you. I sleep well, I eat well. And even though these things are, again, like they're physical, but they really affect your emotions. The things that I do on like one-offs, like here and there, are like brain dumps. So that's where I'm like, I'll go for a walk on the beach and I'll literally voice note all my feelings. I'm literally saying anything on my mind, literally like whatever's stressing me out. I could have a conversation with myself. I have a happy playlist. I have a morning playlist. I have like playlists to create different moods. I love when I just dance my heart out, releasing so much energy, and it's like the best. I love spraying a fragrance that makes me happy. And like for me, fragrances really do create mood. So like I have fragrances that make me feel happy. I have fragrances that make me feel sexy, confident, relaxed, whatever, energized. But for me, I have happy fragrances. So I think find something that really makes you feel amazing.
Most people, no matter what, will always second guess whether or not in the right career or job. Unless you're doing something that's really meaningful, it's very hard to feel like you're fully committed. And I think no matter what, even if you're on your own path and you have your own company, you will always have moments where you second guess yourself because we're dynamic, we're human beings, so we change our minds all the time. I think it's the right time to know that you need to make an actual change when you feel super demotivated all the time. Like if you feel demotivated one day, a week, or like occasionally here and there, that's normal. Even I feel that way sometimes. Yeah, it's very normal to feel it once a month or every now and then, even like once a week. It's fine to feel flat every now and then. But if you feel this way daily and you know it's actually rare for you to feel motivated, then I think it's time to make a change. And whether that means speaking to your boss about finding ways to get more motivated at your current job or completely changing your career path, it's definitely time for a change. And I think, you know, just being someone who has experience working with a team and managing a team and having a leadership position, I really appreciate when people tell me how they feel. So we can have an open conversation and figure out, you know, maybe there are ways to make your job better and make you feel more motivated. If you're in a toxic environment and you don't have the opportunity to say how you feel, that's really unfortunate. And I think that, you know, it's probably a sign that you do need to find somewhere else that has a good environment and is going to nurture who you are and nurture your strengths and your skills to really develop who you are. If you're feeling demotivated and flat 90% of the time or even 80% of the time, you need to make a change. And again, it doesn't mean you have to change your job, but you need to make a change and figure out a different way of working. And it could be a different role, it could be a different manager, a different department, but change it up. And never be afraid to speak to people, a mentor, hopefully within your organization, but even outside your organization. There's a lot of people who always want to share advice. You know, speak up and dig in deep. I think the best way to figure out what your calling is to really just experience as much as you can in life and try to get as much variety as possible.